And we're back with an all-new episode of Keep It. I'm Luther Vandross, here to collect my Grammy after 20 years. Talk about endless love. It's time. No, sorry, I'm the other LV, Louis Virtel. And with me is, frankly, an entertainment legend.
Oh.
I was just discovering that you began at TMZ in 2007,
Yes.
which is like what 1939 is to movies. 2007 is to TMZ. Jesus Christ, Nina Parker,
crazy.
welcome
Hi,
to Keep It.
Thank you for having me.
Nightly pop diva on E.
Yes.
But you've been everywhere, reported for everything.
Yes, I have. I've been in the trenches, honey.
Yeah.
The trenches.
Well, I mean, starting at in 2007
Yeah.
at TMZ, I mean, do you feel like a veteran? I mean, do you
Yeah,
feel like
I
somebody
do.
who deserves compensation?
Absolutely. I'm waiting for the 800 number on the screen in the middle of the night because I'm calling ASAP. I might create the 800 number, especially for that place. But yeah, it's crazy because I definitely like feel like an auntie now. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I am now old in this industry. This is, you know how they say like Hollywood marriages, if you make it 10 years, it's like 100. It's the same with journalism. Like,
Yeah.
it's because you get beat up.
Oh, precisely.
Yeah.
I don't tell this to many people, and even some of my close friends don't know this about me, and I'm getting choked up saying it, but I do have a journalism degree. And you don't often bring, to persist in that occupation,
Yes.
namely in entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like the hardest job in the world. It is taxing.
It's taxing. And the thing about news, it's like the post office, it doesn't stop,
Yeah.
you know? So it's 24/7. So you just wake up kind of on edge.
Yes.
You know, I think the average person right now is waking up on edge, you know, like what happened today? But especially when you work in news and, you know, it's such a changing industry right now. It's the Wild West.
Yes, it remains
These
the Wild
days.
West. But also, of course, the Wild West has many meanings right now.
Mhm.
The First Amendment, for example, we'll just say is under attack. I would say it's going poorly.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Yeah,
It's not, you know, it's not, I think we need to go back and take a look.
right.
I think people, maybe they're not reading the fine print
Or the print at all.
or the print at all.
Yeah.
I think they're making their new amendments.
In fact, let's print it out again.
Right. If we making amendments, I have a few that I'd like to add if we just doing our own thing.
Yes. So Don Lemon, I'll say our colleague.
Yes.
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 He
say
might
our
cover
colleague.
harder journalism.
Yes, I like it.
But over the weekend, arrested for attending and covering a protest in St. Paul
Right.
that entered a church.
Right.
And we're wondering why the hell he was arrested.
They
If he's a
arrested-
journalist covering this event, why he would be what's interesting is when Donald Trump originally kind of threatened him on social media or said he should be arrested, he retained a lawyer and he said, well, I mean, I'll turn myself in.
Sure.
And then he didn't hear back from them. Only a couple weeks later when he was in LA covering the
course.
Grammys, then they ambushed him with
'Cause they
like
wanna have a
15 people.
stunt.
Yes.
They want to stunt. They want to make an example. By the way, the wrong Don was arrested.
Right. Yes. See,
Okay,
there's
we
more than
arresting
one.
Dons in here. We arresting Dons in this thing. I got a few on the list.
Yeah.
One in particular that should go. But yeah, it's
This would be an
just-
interesting time for you to be like, it's Donald Glover. I'm sick of it. Yeah.
But you know, it's just kind of like they just want, you know, I think fodder for their TikToks at this point. Like,
No, I think that's what is sticking with me at this moment is usually as a fan of celebrity and stupidity,
right,
stunt queenery is
Right.
what I like.
right on a reality show.
Yes, but it's like this is just another wrinkle in the saga of having the reality president. Is
Right.
like the stunt stuff is just used against the
He
people.
literally uses like what he learned from The Apprentice to actually operate real life.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, these stunts and tricks that I did in TV, I'm just going to do in real life, which there's a reason why there's a production for reality shows because a lot of it is not real.
Yes.
You know, so it's like we can watch it with, you know, a little wink because it's like, okay, like these girls ain't really beefing like that, but the girls are beefing like that right now.
Right.
The
Precisely.
girls are beefing.
But I mean, I just can't get over the fact that this is happening to Don Lemon or happened to Don Lemon because Donald Trump hates him from CNN,
Yes.
has kept tabs on him,
Right.
and then sicked people on him
Yes.
because he found a way using some like corner of the law that he can whatever
Yeah.
to get him, and it's
Mhm.
become a fiasco now.
Yeah.
And now let's just say this: ICE can go wherever they want, into whatever building, take whomever they want out.
Mhm.
Don Lemon holds a mic to one person's
Right.
face in a church, and suddenly he's in jail.
Yeah. I mean, the hypocrisy is crazy. I mean, this is just anyone who speaks out against him, this is his example of saying, like, if you are against me, I'm going to use everything in my power to crush you. You know, I mean, I think he talked about suing Trevor Noah because of the jokes at the Grammy. So it's just insane, the fragility of like not wanting to be able to deal with criticism. So I'm gonna put you in the jail. It's crazy. You know, that level of petty. It's psychotic.
And by the way, I'm only suing Trevor Noah because he said the phrase, "Are you kidding me?" over 50 times on one telecast, and I can't take it anymore.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, your Trevor Noah impression is, you've been working on this. But also, speaking of Trump and fans thereof, Nicki Minaj, she has sunk even beneath Morrissey on my list of never again. Don't even look at me.
Man, it's just, well, let me also say this about Don, is that not only was he trying to make an example out of him, he was trying to make an example out of Black journalists.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Because the only journalists that were arrested for covering this were Black journalists. Who have all, you know, since been released, but they went to their homes. Like it was a full-on witch hunt. So, you know, just know that it's a very thin line, you know, between journalism and regular citizens just being taken. We know that's happening. So, you know, it's just something that everybody needs to really be aware of. There is really no like putting your toe in.
Also, I think you made an important distinction there. Don Lemon was also acting as an independent journalist.
Yes.
So, I mean, which is sort of like skirting the line between citizenry and the Fourth Estate, but also we all have phones, so we're all kind of journalists.
Right.
So
at this point, you know, at this point, because, you know, the institutions that we normally rely on are being heavily influenced by this administration. So now it's kind of like, you know, even entertainment headlines, you know, I'm seeing all of these Melania.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, nobody's in those theaters, babes. Nobody's in there.
Yeah.
They're empty. But all of the skewing of like, you know, there was so much criticism with Variety when they were talking about Sinners, like, are they going to make the money back? But when you see the Melania headlines, you see, you know, the complete opposite, where it's like, even though there was a big budget, they are squeaking through in the theaters. And I'm like, it's no squeaking.
No.
It's empty.
And also, it's like, one of the headlines was she exceeded expectations. I was like, to make $0?
Yes. Zero. Mind you, there was a bit, first of all, the fact that there was a bidding war for this is crazy.
For what? So that she can kind of like walk past the camera and go into rooms and sit down and then get up and walk out of the room.
I would rather eat a jean jacket. A jean jacket followed by a cup of talcum powder before I ever watched that.
A 2-course.
You're going to have to hold, like the film where they hold your eyes open. They would have to do that to me. That would be torture.
No, there's just nothing to know. The idea, I write for Jimmy Kimmel, and we were writing jokes about this documentary, and like the illusion that somehow we are all intrigued in the idea that something is happening, one, behind the scenes, or two, behind the eyes.
Yeah, right.
No.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. There's nothing we need to know.
No, my question is, are you real?
Right.
And if you can prove she has skin and bones, then we can move on. That's it.
The only thing I think is, you know, if she's like an android or something, then I mean, maybe there's a conversation there, but there's just really nothing I need to know.
No, if we can get started on the Blade Runner future, we're already there in so many other ways.
Right.
Please.
Right.
Yes.
It's a mess.
But anyway, my other favorite android, Nicki Minaj. Where are you on her right now?
Oh, I'm off that.
Yeah.
And that was I'm off that. For life.
Yeah, right.
You know, I am a grudge holder.
Mm-hmm. Oh, love that.
I am a grudge holder in general, but in my personal relationships, I have a lot of grace.
Yeah.
For my celebrities that I've enjoyed that have broken my heart, I never go back.
Yeah.
I never go back.
I
still don't even like Danny Glover because of how he acted in The Color Purple.
Oh, wow. You take the scripts they actually take. Got it.
You shouldn't have took the role, Danny. So I still don't watch, you know, whatever he's in. Okay. So if I for damn sure ain't forgiving Nicki.
Wow.
No.
I'm going to say that's 1985.
Yeah, and he was just in acting. It wasn't detrimental to the culture. What she's doing is just so irresponsible, you know, and I actually really enjoyed her as an artist.
Oh,
and
please.
I've interviewed her before. She was lovely to me during the
brilliant interviewee, generally speaking. You know,
but it just doesn't supersede. Like, I'm not one of those people. I don't believe, like, as a fan, of someone, they're above criticism.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a human being, and I'm very much like, this was wrong. Whether I'm like that with people I love, so I'm definitely going to hold that same standard. As much as I can love someone's music or their art, that doesn't supersede like them being good people or good human beings. If there's things that can dissuade me from supporting someone. Nikki is from Queens. Like you from the bottoms. Like what it's like to do this is crazy to me. And, it's just unforgivable. It's just unforgivable.
No, and it seems to be a bit of a gambit on her part, because she also acquired one of these Trump gold cards, which allows her to like enter be a citizen without having to pay the $1 million you would otherwise have to pay for this.
Which, by the way, they
Wonka
said,
golden ass ticket. Yeah.
Like how embarrassing.
Yeah.
How embarrassing is it of you to get on this stage and walk around for all these white folks and try to be like the representation of Black culture on this stage, looking a fool, and then posting this only for them to be like, "Oh, girl, this is just for show. Like, this wasn't real. Like, you gonna have to get in line with everybody else for this paperwork."
Yeah.
You gonna have to get in this line. She gonna be in that TSA line just like everybody else.
My question is, when she like compliments him, when she's like, "Oh, the charismatic," whatever she said about him. Is that his lines that she's using, or is she coming up with it herself just for like to flatter him? I want to know the creative process behind being such a brown noser.
This is psychosis in action.
Maybe just psychosis.
It's just I just think for more than her selfish actions, like the fandom that. I feel like you don't have any when she was like fat shaming Lizzo and being homophobic, and I was like, these are your fans though. Like you don't think big girls like you. You don't you got gay fans. So I'm like,
I've been to enough pool parties where there's literally a flag of Nicki Minaj over the proceedings, and you're supposed to salute it when you walk in. Yes. And by the way, I did.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, people were here for it.
Yeah.
And so it's always interesting to me when I see someone disrespect groups of people who in large numbers support them. Like, when people talk about like, "Oh, you can't, I'm not arguing with people out of my tax bracket." Well, who do you think is the majority of your supporters?
Yeah, right.
Most of your supporters are not going to be in your tax bracket. So it's always strange to me when people attack the groups that are huge supporters of theirs. But it's also like, as a fan, have some self-respect for yourself.
Yeah,
have some respect for yourself.
We maybe should have been totally done just after the Megan Thee Stallion situation too.
Right.
Those
It's
bars,
yes.
LOL. Yeah.
It's dark. Like it's to me, when I see like what she talks about, and like when she was tweeting through the Grammys because she was upset, because all of this, by the way, is like insecurity for not being included. Like I want to feel included, so I'm gonna go in a space where I feel included, because they're not showing me the love, because she's always had beef with the Grammys. Yeah. Which at some point in her career, this was a rightful criticism.
It's weird that the woman doesn't have a Grammy.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird. But now I'm like, a lot of things is just people need to like you.
Yeah. Right.
Talent is gonna get you so far.
Awards is about can I tolerate you in any way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think people think like there's a voting regulation of like, civility. No, people get in, I'm on some voting boards, and I'm just like, yeah, the album was great, but I don't like this bitch like that.
Right. No.
I don't like her like that. I ain't
doesn't sit right in my soul, as we used to say.
Yes. It's like, it's nothing is fair. So a lot of these things, as you know, like with work, whatever, like the most talented doesn't always get recognized, because it's a culmination of like, do I enjoy this person? What are their views? Like, that's just the regular human way. I don't care what anybody says when they're voting. It's not always about the project.
Right.
So,
which brings me to my next point. What's everyone's problem with Bjork? She still doesn't have a Grammy.
Not Bjork.
Say it to my face.
This is the stand you're taking.
Yes, right.
Bjork,
this is why I brought you here today, Nina.
I'm here for it because Bjork throw hands. So
right. She sure will.
Bjork can slap you. And I'm always here for somebody getting slapped.
With the energy of the Vikings, her people. Yes.
Bjork don't play.
No.
Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, we have a lot to get through this episode. And already we've cycled through a number of traumas, but more are to come. So just but we'll be starting on a pleasant note with the Grammys just happened.
Yes.
And I have to say, just as a ceremony, one of the few where you can watch it with a ton of people or by yourself.
Yeah,
totally gratifying.
Yeah. I watched alone, and I have to say, I am genuinely, can I say this? And it's very taboo to say this in the entertainment industry. I hate award shows.
Oh, you do?
I hate them.
So you want to get into a brawl with me on this table right here. You came here to wrestle me Greco-Roman, and you're going down. I have to say.
I have to say, I'm not a big fan of them. I enjoy watching the recaps.
Yeah.
And I enjoy reading the timelines on threads, like when people are talking about it in real time. That's what makes it fun for me.
Yeah.
But if you've gone to them, they're not that fun.
Oh, well, let me tell you
they're
something.
a little long.
A friend of mine invited me to the Grammys on Sunday, and I couldn't go. I had other work to do. But I was also...
excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh,
just to let you know.
Excuse me, I had other work to do.
Booked and busy.
Okay, wallet.
But I have to say, I was relieved not to go because I prefer them at home.
I do too. I think I have aged out of, first of all, needing validation by an invitation.
Yeah.
And also, like, big crowds are just, if all these award shows happen,
namely
like downtown.
DTLA.
Yes. Please, Gotham City, babes.
No.
I'm not going there.
No.
No, I'm not going to Gotham City.
Nowhere to park.
No.
Yeah.
There's just, it is call Batman. Because unless I'm getting flown in, I'm not trying to go out there.
The Waymo has no idea how to turn around to where you are.
Gosh.
Please.
It's the last time I almost got to a fight down there. I hate going to downtown LA.
Right.
So I for sure don't want to be there when I'm in Spanx and stilettos.
No, if it's at the Sweetgreen next to me in the middle of Hollywood, maybe I'll consider it. But that's it. Palladium or nothing.
Now this has turned very LA because you brought up Sweetgreen.
Yes, right. Most of my meals. We'll get to that some other time. Elsewhere in this episode, the fabulous Paula Pell joins us. We'll talk about, oh my God, her years writing for SNL, her fabulous writing partner, Janine Brito, among other things. And then we'll get into something that I think decimated all our weekends, the career and life and livelihood and fabulousness of Catherine O'Hara.
Which, I felt bad because I couldn't even process the news because it happened the same day as Don Lemon's arrest. So I felt like it didn't get the love and the moment that it needed.
Yes.
So I'm glad we're talking about this.
No, and we'll talk about how there is no wrong entry point into her career. Literally everything she did was like a perfect microcosm of everything she could deliver.
Yes.
Whether she's just an ensemble member or the star, you could just see the joy she brought to comedy.
Yeah.
We'll get into that on this episode of Keep It, where I continue to dance with my father as Luther Vandross. And by the way, if you want to know more about Don Lemon's, I'll call it an imbroglio, he was just on my show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, last night, talking about the step-by-step process behind this atrocious event. And it's very informative. He talks about the FACE Act, the procedure that got him behind bars, who responded, who didn't. So please watch him on Kimmel. It's a good, long interview.
Don is incredibly informed, like one of the most informed people in news. Like, he really knows what he's talking about, and he knows what he's doing, which is why he knew he was within his rights to go into that church.
Yes.
So like, I'm really interested to watch that myself, to just kind of like hear his step-by-step process about how that went down. And
also, years ago when he was on this podcast, he talked about how his dream job is to host a Turner Classic Movies show about old movies like Bette Davis, etc. And I just want to say, don't come for my job, sweetie. That's for me, Lewis. Stay in your cell. Keep It is brought to you by Koyuchi. I'm so excited to tell you about our sponsor, Koyuchi. Koyuchi is in a league of its own when it comes to bedding, bath, and home products, and their organic sateen and flannel sheet sets are the key to more comfortable, healthier sleep year-round. I am constantly cloaked in Koyuchi. I wear it like Lauren Bacall wears furs. It's always on me, feels so good, and it makes you want to sleep. Or if you want to watch TV, it keeps you up and you're so comfortable. Every option is available to you. All Koyuchi sheets are made of natural fibers and certified to be free of toxins and harmful chemicals that could seep into your skin. And they're so soft and gentle on your skin, you can sleep well and safely with Koyuchi. Whether it's bedding or bath towels, table linens, crib sheets, or spa robes, all of Koyuchi's products are of the absolute highest quality, made with natural fibers, low-impact dyes, and certified fair trade. Koyuchi looks great, feels amazing, and is good for your health and the planet. If you want healthy, organic, luxury bedding that lasts a lifetime, you need Koyuchi. Get 15% off your first order when you visit koyuchi.com/keepit. That's koyuchi.com/keepit to get 15% off, koyuchi.com/keepit. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The lead up to Valentine's Day can be extremely stressful. You know what it's kind of like? It's the New Year's of the soul. You wonder when the day comes, what will happen to you if you don't get exactly what you want. And for some reason, there are stakes we attach to that. We get it. February is full of flowers, candy, stuffed animals, and of course, lots of talk about relationships. And no matter where you are, whether you're married or dating or single or just focusing on you, therapy can help you find your way and see more clearly where you want to be. When it comes to finding the right therapist, BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences. And their 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. And it works, with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. So sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/keepit. That's betterhelp.com/keepit. Music's biggest and perhaps most political night returned on Sunday. Bad Bunny, Kendrick Lamar, and Olivia Dean were the big winners of the night. But before we even get to the awards themselves, Nina, what did you think of Trevor Noah's hosting at the Grammys?
Good. I think he did good.
Yeah.
Hosting is, first of all, hosting is incredibly hard. And then hosting with a bunch of celebs who, like, I feel like music, like, stars are the hardest audience because it's very big egos.
Yeah. And
Like,
I don't think
everybody's
they're like a
very
joke.
cool.
And it's not like a joke-oriented culture.
No.
You know?
Like, they want to, like, I think with actors, they act kind of like that too, but they're more seasoned into placating the camera. Like, they're gonna laugh, they're gonna be like, they're gonna play with you, right?
Mhm.
I feel like a music audience is always hard to host because they want to look cool. They're not gonna take their sunglasses off. Like, they're a hard crowd.
Yeah.
Especially because they're all in the front and they're, and a lot of them are multimillionaires. Like, they don't necessarily want to be there.
Right.
So I think, he kept the audience going and he was funny. I thought he was great. But they're barely announcing awards these days. Did you know that they only announce like 9?
No, it's crazy. I actually have to say, I really recommend watching the Grammy pre-show, which is like barely an award ceremony.
Yeah.
They're just like reading the nominees, and then
Yeah.
there are a couple performances, but it lets you in on certain music narratives you wouldn't otherwise know anything about.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize it's an actual music industry,
Yeah.
and it's not just about the 7 most popular people whom we give all the Grammys
Right.
to.
I really hate that it's not about the awards anymore, because most people won't know who won unless they look it up later or
Right.
if they watch the pre-show, because there are so many awards that are coming out before the show has even started, by the way.
Yeah.
I was able to actually tell Miguel he won his Grammy.
Oh, get out.
When years ago, I was covering and did a ride along with him when I was working for CBS. And they've been doing this thing where they announce it early, but to give the majority, it's like a lot of the R&B categories were not, and I was really disappointed about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why R&B isn't getting loved by the Grammys, but it's crazy.
And also, Tiana Taylor was up in that category this year.
Yeah.
And as I said, she has the EGOT Park Hopper Pass this season.
Tiana's out here doing it. I mean, them abs alone.
Please.
I was like, Tiana, please. I just had pizza. Like, this body is crazy.
This fashion site I read, Tom and Lorenzo, was talking about, she picks outfits where you basically have to pose like a bodybuilder to show them off correctly.
Yes.
Yes,
I can't even, it's insane. And a lot of this, she works hard, but ladies, a lot of that is genetic. Like, like, I asked Regina King once, I was like, how do I get them arms? She was like, it's genetics. I said, oh, okay, let me just stop trying it.
Thank you, Regina.
I actually appreciate it, because I'm not going to try to achieve it.
And by the way, she was at the Grammys last night too.
Yes, she was my favorite.
We got an actual acting moment from her too.
I'll listen to her read the phone book.
Please.
Her voice.
Also, I love when there was one Oscars one year where she entered the room for a long time. You could have her enter the room from like across the street and it would be compelling.
Yes, she is so incredible. Regina King and Regina Hall, the Reginas.
Yeah, sure.
They haven't got the love that they need in this industry. They need their flowers, they need all the awards, and they need all of the screen time.
Yeah, right. Regina Hall actually hosted the Oscars one year, but that was sort of like waylaid by the fact that was the year of the slap.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we need a round 2.
You're right.
We need a round 2.
You're right. It was the year of the slap.
So anyway, that's constantly on my mind. Let's start with the big awards. I'm going to start with Album of the Year, which of course went to Bad Bunny. Looking at this now, I hate when this happens to me after the fact with an award show. Guys, it could only have been Bad Bunny. What are we talking about? This album is one of the highest rated critically albums of like the past 20 years. I believe on Metacritic it's something like the 15th highest rated album.
He is out of this stratosphere.
Yes.
And
he's the moment and beyond. Yeah.
And he's just like someone you root for, I feel like.
Great. I mean, I hate saying this, great attitude. Like when he's on camera, it's like you want to look at him.
Well, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right. That kind of,
great attitude.
He needed this validation, and I'm here to give it. And of course, he's about to perform at the Super Bowl.
He's about to perform at the Super Bowl. I love that he did not pander He was like, I'm doing this speech in Spanish. I speak Spanish. This is what I'm about to speak.
Yes.
I love that about him. I love that he is standing 10 toes down in who he is. And also just like, we're Americans. Y'all know Puerto Rican. Like, hello?
Right.
Like, are y'all okay?
Let me show you the map.
That's what he said in his speech. He was like, are y'all okay? Is everyone all right in here? That's basically what he said. That was a translation if you didn't know what he said.
Also, I mean, his album also does the thing that lots of album of the years do, which is bridging old and new. It's very, very cross-generational. Yeah. Like I always say, the moment Lauryn Hill won the Grammy for album of the year is when she had a music video where she's like, look, I'm the 60s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And like all the ancient voters saw that they're like, oh, this means I get to be cool voting for the cool new thing. And yet also, oh, look, you can move like one of the Shirelles.
Yes. I am so excited for him to do the Super Bowl and piss all of MAGA off.
Please.
Yes.
I
hope they seethe. I hope they see.
Yeah, he's a good celebrity to be unavoidable. We have a celebrity every once in a while who's like you've got to see 70 times.
Inevitable.
Yes.
And he's gonna keep doing it because even the people who don't like him, because we know who's in charge of these institutions are, not Bad Bunny friendly, but they can't deny it because he's gonna drive dollars.
Yeah.
Because his sales just are incredible, so they can't ignore him.
No, he was the #1 artist on Spotify, something like 3 or 4 years in a row too.
He's hitting some crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Like unheard of.
No, and it's nice to hear that because I truly thought only Taylor Swift was capable of that, and it's like I need to live in a universe with more than one artist.
You didn't mention Beyonce,
but like, is she hitting the same numbers?
Oh. I don't know the facts, but I'm going to say yes because I would never say no.
I have to say, thank God we live in a universe where she finally got the album of the year, though.
Oh
because
my gosh,
I'm just saying every Grammy conversation without that is so fraught.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I mean, not only was she deserving last year, which, by the way, I feel like there's some bone to pick there with people who think it should have been some other album, whatever. It's like, guys, Cowboy Carter was a perfectly acceptable album of the year.
It was. I do think she should have got it for Lemonade.
Oh, sure. I would say Renaissance.
Yeah. But, we take it when we can get it.
Right.
They had to create a whole new country category because they're so scared of Beyonce.
I have to tell you, I'm not over that.
Yeah,
it is frankly clearly rude.
It's incredibly racist.
Yes.
They're like, oh, these black people coming in here singing too good.
Right.
It's like, let's create another league because there's too many slam dunks.
Right. We need country that's about whiskey.
Traditional country. What does that mean?
And again, it sounds like it written and sung by villains in the movie Boys Don't Cry. You know?
Yeah.
Scary people.
They're just like, you ain't gonna come in here and sweep us anymore.
Yeah.
We're gonna create something. Meanwhile, she's off that.
Yeah.
She has a third, there's still like a third chapter.
And I hope it's flamenco. What will she do? Yeah.
Is this leading up to the Vegas residency? Like, what is going on? As I don't know what genre this one's going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I mean, I think we can all kind of agree it's going to be rock-oriented in some way, and I cannot wait for that. I've been very obsessed with the album Private Dancer recently by Tina Turner.
Okay.
People need to get more into her version of I Can't Stand the Rain. It's like spidery.
Yes.
She's like,
my mother's favorite artist of all time, by the way.
Oh.
Tina Turner. We have really segued.
Oh, no.
But
I'm sorry. No, I always talk about the song Typical Male by Tina Turner. It's my favorite Tina Turner song.
Yes, but Tina Turner, we could talk about her all day long.
All right. Record of the year went to Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I have to tell you. Oh, yes. Guys, the Cher contingent, the Cher portion.
Cher, I love her. She's 79. She can do whatever she wants.
Okay, yes. I just was shocked at how many different ways she could be confused in one moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, listen, to be fair, I'm confused now.
Yeah. Okay.
A daily life.
And you're very sharp.
I pretty much every day these days, I wake up in a stupor.
Yes.
So I understand. Look, Cher was just like, because she left after she, they had to call her back. Trevor had to call her back because she thought that she was just there to accept her award. Cher, you was there to work.
No, right.
You had a job to do. Cher forgot she had a job.
She came on stage after being announced. Trevor Noah sort of, I guess, pretends it's a surprise to her, but it's clearly not a surprise. Right. Gives her this Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award.
But she did not have a speech prepared.
Or did she? Because it was in the teleprompter.
Right.
And she sort of read, and the speech was a little strange. She was like, often I was very up and often I was very down, which is true. Like she talks about, I was either winning an Oscar or not popular at all.
Right.
I believe that, etc. And then she just stood there. And then she said, and now I guess I'm going to leave. Cher, does that sound right? No. And then she sort of like trotted backwards a little bit, receding into a shadow. Thank God Trevor was near a stage. He could be like, Cher, stop.
I don't understand why no one was with her.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Usually, she's 79 years old. She's in heels and leather.
Right.
Somebody go up there with her.
Doesn't she have that stud boyfriend?
Yeah, she got her man. Like her or him or Trevor. Somebody should have been, with her. Or usually when there's awards being given, there's two people anyway.
Yeah, right.
They should have sent someone, with her to just kind of handle the heavy lift.
Right.
But
the heavy lift of the wig alone.
Of the 12 pounds.
Yes.
On
it's like a bowling ball. It's a bowling ball.
Yeah. She was probably thinking about them Spanx, honey. Like Cher wasn't thinking about giving out these awards.
And then she did give an award
to Luther.
And let's be clear.
Did she look for him?
That's my question.
Does Cher know Luther gone?
That is my question. So she reads the Record of the Year winner, which is Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And she says Luther Vandross. Clearly Luther Vandross. I just want to be clear that this man has been dead 20 years.
But
he is long missed, and maybe that's part of it.
I want him here too.
Yes.
I think he's been gone longer than 20.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Because we still think the 80s was 20 years ago.
I live in that space.
I listen, my parents are in their 70s.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of grace. But she thinks he's still here. She thought he was coming up there.
That was so strange. And yet, I mean, it's like, I so believe it, because it's like, it's not like she would ever really be friends with Luther Vandross, but it's like, you have to have some memory of, it's been a long time since I've seen Luther.
I have to say, I thought we had switched timelines.
Here he comes.
Oh my God, we done switched timelines. We'll have a new president and Luther's alive.
Yeah, and maybe he's out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I would have been here for it.
Yeah, right.
So I was actually disappointed Luther wasn't up there.
No, I have to say. And then when Kendrick Lamar and SZA went on stage, they actually, obviously the song does sample Luther Vandross. And I actually have to say, my problem with this winning Record of the Year is I honestly prefer the sample over this song, even though it was an inescapable song this year. And the song it samples is actually a cover of the Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell version, because the song is written by Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
But by the way, the song it samples is not just Luther Vandross, it's Cheryl Lynn, who I find to be one of the most underrated vocalists ever. People know her for Got to Be Real, which is the original title of Paris is Burning, the voguing documentary.
You better read this history down.
Please, yes.
You better read it down.
All I do is
this
Wikipedia.
Is a history lesson.
This is Wikipedia time.
You better give it.
Yes.
I love it.
But she has so many great songs, including Shake It Up Tonight, Encore, and Star Love. Please look those up. She's still with us, by the way. You can look at her. You can message her on Instagram.
Alive.
Yes, right.
Someone who's actually here. Y'all could have called her.
I didn't see her at the Grammys. Was she there?
She could have went up there with Cher.
Yeah. And by the way, though, SZA also gave a lovely portion of the speech too.
Did she?
You don't think so?
What did she say? I think she said, the God governs us, not the government.
I felt like she was more specific about ICE-related things after the fact.
Yeah.
So
I'm also just like, why y'all not saying nothing? You know, I am not a person who believes that every celebrity needs to speak out, because a lot of them don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I have to tell you, I feel the same way. I feel like we are awash in misinformation in certain ways, and people need to remind themselves sometimes that if we heard from everybody, we would all be misled.
Yes, and as crazy as it sounds, like I know people are criticizing Jelly Roll, rightfully so. Like, these people really live in a bubble that it's by the way, it's unacceptable. But they if you've been around these people, they really are out of their minds. Like, they're in this is a different stratosphere that these people live in that is just not real.
Well, I will say it's sort of different than like actors at the Oscars, where like a musician at the Grammys is surrounded by like 9 or 10 handlers sometimes.
But you would think, as musicians, they're artists. They're an actor is reading a script, right? A musician, you're supposed to write about the world.
Yeah.
Hello. Like, most of the hit songs are about like a moment in time.
Yeah.
Not just heartbreak, but like society. This is so for these people to be the most uninformed group is a little shocking and scary.
Yeah, and yet at this award ceremony, we got more speaking out than we have at most of the movie
mainly
awards.
Women.
Yes, right.
Aside
we got
from,
some Billie Eilish.
Yes.
That is a very strange Song of the Year winner to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It also seemingly came out 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was kind of like, because I'm be honest with you, when I said, what's Billie doing over here?
Right.
I said, where's Billie at the front table?
I didn't
even know there was a nomination.
But I will say, I was happy to see her stand up, because I hate when we don't get to see her entire weird outfit.
Yes. Oh, you mean stand up physically?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant stand up against ICE.
No. I was talking about fashion. You work for E. Don't pretend you didn't hear me.
I said, we talking about literally.
Yes. There were belt buckles, and I wanted to understand.
Shout out to Kalani.
Oh, yes, who won a number of Grammys.
Run a number and was the first one, I think, to get on that stage and be like, F Ice.
Yes.
Like, shout out to Kalani. She stands 10 toes down on everything and doesn't care about the backlash.
Also, I will say just about making a political statement at the Grammys, I want to encourage more people to do things like that, because I have to say, if you didn't make a political statement, I don't remember your speech. Literally, your ego alone, maybe if you are informed, should propel you in that direction.
Sure, even if it's just, you're like pseudo activism. Like, no one. I agree with you. Like, I really clock out when people start thanking people. I don't know who the hell this is. I don't know who Mark who wrote for you. I don't know who that is.
People need to think more critically and creatively about what they can do on stage.
Yeah.
That is honestly, one, interesting.
Sure.
But two, like, productive. Like, even if you just point out people in the room, be like, I love this person and I love this album they did.
I agree.
Direct this room of like this captive
you
audience
have a moment.
to the arts.
Yeah.
Do something.
Everybody's always, I always wonder if it's a shtick when they're like, I wasn't prepared for this. But I think they're not, because it's often all over the place.
Yeah, though I will say we did get an example of someone seemingly not being prepared in an amazing way yesterday, which was Lola Young running up on stage. Excuse me, the vigor with which she went up there. It was giving, I want a refrigerator on The Price is Right, and I needed a refrigerator.
I loved it. I was like, oh, this feels very authentic.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, it's like, nothing wrong with being prepared or whatever, but often when people are prepared, that means they're prepared to bore you.
Yes. Yes.
And she was like doing front handsprings.
Who's the guy, Duran, his run?
Excuse me.
It's already a meme.
It was a hard sprint.
Hard sprint.
Jack be nimble.
He did a video later and showed that he was wearing clogs.
That is the degree of difficulty.
Mules, but the back was out.
What? Was he in the Highland Games? Yes.
Incredible run.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Yeah, precisely. The Grammys spent a lot of time on Best New Artist, and they gave us an entire medley, which included Addison Rae, Cat's Eye, Lola Young, Somber, Olivia Dean, Leon Thomas, Alex Warren, and the Marias. What did you think of that whole circus of the stars?
Okay. This is Best New Artist. I don't ever feel over 40 until I look at Best New Artist.
Oh, no. Who are these
people? And then
people?
I said, who is that, baby?
No.
Who is Cat's Eye? These people saying gang, gang. Baby, please. I said gang, gang.
Yeah.
Y'all in white lace dresses, please. I am not the demographic for a lot of these artists. Yeah. Except Olivia Dean is my girl. Olivia Dean.
I have to say, she's kind of what I'm talking about, a blend of the old and the new.
She has joy in her voice. Like that. Something about, I'm gonna tap my toe every time I hear Olivia Dean. Mm-hmm. I'll be cussing you out. If the best way to shut me up, turn on some Olivia Dean.
Sure.
I'm gonna shut my ass up.
Well, it's very calming.
It's calming. It's like joyful,
It's also like Sunday morning, like, I'm putting butter on a waffle. You know what I mean?
Melted butter.
Yeah. Yes. You can feel the melting.
I do like, who's the guy? I'm not on the ordinary. Who's that guy?
Alex Moore. Oh,
Alex.
yes. Yeah.
Y'all knew I was talking
Something
about.
went wrong with that track.
You think?
Yeah. I'm a journalist.
Mike was off.
Yeah.
I said, they set Alex up.
Yeah, right. And then they were like, and now you have to go to this guy.
Baby, and you got all black background singers and you offbeat.
Tough.
You ain't coming back from that. I like him, and I'm definitely going to use him on my next reels.
Yeah.
However, we've got to practice on this live thing. His ears were messing him up, the earpieces.
Yeah, you could tell he wanted to yank the thing out.
But I'm always so shocked with the technical difficulties on such a large scale show.
I don't get it. I'm like, they clearly rehearse a bunch of times, right?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I always feel like this has to be sabotage because I know y'all practice.
You're right, and a number of the other artists didn't have that problem, so it's like very strange.
Are you an Addison Rae fan?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I think she brings. I brought this up before. The actress Hari Nef was talking to me, and she goes, she's the only artist who operates from her puss. And there's something about her delivery as an artist where it's like, she does channel a kind of sexy rave-like thing. I think there's like a quality about her that's like actually sort of deep, and the pop music is good.
Okay, deep.
I didn't say lyrically.
Okay.
Yes. I meant in spirit.
I have to admit, and I probably will get a lot of hate for this, I don't mind her music.
Yeah, no, the music is good.
Now, I think she can sing? That's a different question.
No, she's whispering nicely.
She's a whisper singer. It's a bop. It's a TikTok, post when you're going out on a Saturday night. But I don't mind her. Yeah. I think a lot of people dislike the fact that she's like a TikToker. But I I don't mind her.
I think as a performer, like she's trying to do Tate McRae things, and I have to say, it's like I'm not seeing the 10 years of gymnastics that should lead you to that.
Right. Yes.
You know?
I think like it's okay to just do a little two-step.
Right.
You know,
one step.
It's a little bit, but I think what people are angry about is that there's so many talented artists that aren't getting the platform that she's getting. So I completely get that.
And that's where I want to advocate for her, because I do think she is kind of an interesting musician. Like there's something about the record, about it's like if it's something somewhere between like Sabrina Carpenter and like something much
She's
moodier.
Very Sabrina Carpenter coded. But baby, listen, you turn on some Diet Pepsi, I'm a groove.
What a great song. There's headphones on. I love that song too. Famous a Gun.
I'm gonna turn it on. I know more about her than Cat's Eye.
I also want to say about Olivia Dean, I've seen a couple of people on Twitter criticize the fact that she's maybe old lady music, or that she's like, she has a kind of calming vibe, but she's not depressed, which is what people like in our generation.
She's kind of a happy Amy Winehouse.
I would describe her as Corinne Bailey Ray-ish.
Yeah.
You know, and I just want to say encouragingly to her,
Leona Lewis vibes.
Yes, I've never gotten to say this seriously to an artist. Girl, put your records on. We want them.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm here for it. I haven't heard one song I dislike.
Yeah.
Her and Tim's right now are getting a good rotation. Listen, you put some Tim's on. Please.
Well,
you won't hear from me for the rest of the day.
And speaking of representation, you know who I have to stand up for? Somber, because I had that body throughout college. And when you feel 11 feet tall and you're about 140 pounds and all you're doing is eating, girl, I've been there. You go for it, Gumby. You put on that sparkly suit. Celebrate, Gumby.
I love that. Listen,
we should call ourselves Somber fans are Pokies. He's Gumby, we're Pokey.
Ooh, I love this is you speaking to Gen X right now, baby, with these Gumby references. Because who knows Pokey?
No. This is my curse.
Pokey
all I know is Pokey.
That is inside baseball, baby. And you are speaking my language. I love a Pokey reference.
Okay, now elsewhere in the show, the highlight of the show, we got a huge in memoriam tribute that started like in 1 hour, ended about an hour and a half later.
I have to say, I am usually disappointed by these these awards. You know, the memorials are never really good.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill was on time.
Excuse me, they told her it was at 12:30.
She was on time. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I definitely thought she was going to perform at the after show because I was like, she ain't making the main show, babes. I hope y'all got a backup. But she made it.
I couldn't get over that they slow rolled us because when she started, it seemed to just be a tribute to D'Angelo, which would have been great.
Right.
And she sang Nothing Even Matters from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, sounding great. And then
a Fugees reunion.
They start adding people gradually, and you realize, oh, it's also a Roberta Flack tribute. And I did not think the tribute we'd get to her would be so thorough.
Yeah.
So she starts, and she doesn't start with Killing Me Softly. She starts with The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. Roberta Flack won 2 Record of the Year in a row for that and Killing Me Softly. And before we get to Killing Me Softly, which we're sort of aware we're going to get, then we cut to John Legend and Shaka Khan doing one of the many duets that Roberta Flack
everybody
did.
Sounded good.
Yes.
Mike was on.
But Shaka is always going to give it
Always going to give it to you. Always.
And who is like a fun vocalist like that? She's still like one of one.
That voice is still good and distinctful.
Yeah.
And
sweet and saucy.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, yes. Shaka's going to riff.
Every time. And then we get back to Lauryn Hill, and I'm expecting Killing Me Softly. I did not expect Wyclef to come out.
I didn't either.
Oh.
I honestly, people were like, I was on threads, and people were like, if Wyclef comes out, I said, she ain't bringing him out.
Right.
I was very wrong.
No, because they've lost each other's numbers 50 times.
Because Pride's in jail, ain't he?
Right.
I'm glad that they did. They buried the hatchet.
Yes.
This is exciting.
And not only did they perform Killing Me Softly in the traditional Roberta Flack style, then Lauryn Hill was like, we have to do this Fuji style.
Yeah.
And then we got that.
It was one of the best tributes I've seen in the last 10 years.
The whole stage was vibrating. The whole audience was with it. Yeah. That made me fucking wish I went to the Grammys.
I was actually like, this is probably one of the best. Of course, they do the best one at the last year that it's going to be on CBS. So,
yeah, right.
That's true. The times of it changing. So, I was excited. I thought it was great. Lauryn was on time. She also did. A lot of my friends went to an after party at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Had a big after party after the Grammys, and she performed there too.
Oh, I believe I saw a clip of her doing X Factor there.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is when that album came out at the time, it was sort of like doo-wop that thing. And then it was sort of made out to believe that the next huge single would be Everything Is Everything, which has a great video and a song I love.
Yeah.
But really over time, X Factor has become like the definitive moment of that album.
X Factor got me through some things.
Yeah.
X Factor got me through a lot of tears.
Yeah.
So X Factor is still to me, it's one of the most timeless albums of all time.
Oh, no, I mean, again, I have no problem with the fact that she's never put out another
Me
album.
neither,
When you have those
actually. I get
17
it.
songs,
I get it.
yeah.
I get it. And I mean, I was listening to that when I was, in college.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
And also, by the way, I love her weird little Unplugged album.
Yeah.
She's like, I've got a guitar, I'm doing like 1.5 chords.
She is a true artist.
Yeah.
And she is, you know what I love about her? She's unapologetic about her artistry. And even though I don't agree with how she moves all the time, I respect it. Like her, Jill Scott, like they're real. These are like, you don't get artists like this anymore. They are real, just creatives. They move different. They think different. And I love that.
I'm glad you brought up Jill Scott because I also think Olivia Dean is sort of in line with her.
Yeah.
She brings back, there's a quality that I heard when I took a pop music class in college that has rang in my head ever since.
Excuse me, a pop music class.
I took more than one. This is why I am the way I am.
I love this. You are a savant.
Yes. Sophisticated ease. That's what they bring. I mean, she's sort of in line with Dionne Warwick in that way, where it's not about belting.
Dionne.
It's about like a simmering lightness and sophistication. And then every once in a while, I say something a little sassy.
Yeah,
and
a little bit. But
Olivia's
Olivia's a great live performer, which to me, there are people's music that I like that I would never go see them in concert. Because I'm like, listen, love you, but I know it's a little extra things on little buttons you got to push on this mic to really get the sound you want.
On this gumball machine,
Olivia, you can hear her in the subway,
yes,
and you know that she's gonna sound the same.
Yeah, precisely.
You know,
she really did herself proud with that performance too. It was like
vibe,
pure
she did great. I was
energy.
surprised she didn't close it.
Yeah,
I was actually surprised about that. Justin Bieber, what'd you think about him?
Well, I'll say this. I thought the performance was actually great and novel, but I think what's underrated is they kept cutting in the audience to Hailey Bieber. I thought she was essential to the performance.
You did.
Because he was bringing something that was kind of like intense, but maybe too intense. But they kept cutting to her and she was like, love it.
Yeah.
So she kind of kept placating the audience.
Yes, she did. She did. He's very... he comes across very sad to me.
Yeah, right. No, even like when Trevor Noah was going through the audience kind of making jokes about everybody, I was like, skip him.
He's just always kind of,
has had it.
He's Eeyore.
Yeah.
He's Eeyore.
And by the way,
cloud over him.
And it takes a lot to make a Canadian Eeyore.
Yeah.
They're a happy people.
Yes. I'm always like, and I don't know if it's just maybe he was also at that after party.
Oh.
And he was having a great time. So I think mainly it's just he doesn't want to be at these award shows, I don't think. I think that's what we're seeing is like, he's fine when it's private, but in these big spotlights, he's just really uncomfortable still. I don't think it's something he ever got used to.
No, and by the way, I do not stand boxer shorts in any way. But what he brought on that stage brought me back to middle school locker rooms. And you know what? Normally that's a horrible memory for me. And I was like, all right, represent. Yeah.
I was here for it. I like the song. So,
by the way, Best New Artist as a category is so funny. It's not about any particular album. Yeah. It's just something about you is the best and better than other people.
And this is what I was saying earlier. People got to like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's just, do we like you?
Yeah. That's really what it is.
LOL. So that was one award show, but we have a more important one called the Oscars. I know you're dubious about award shows, but it is time for you to fill out the Oscars ballot. And of course, stuff my box.
I've never wanted anything more. Best Picture is going to be Sinners.
And what spoke to you about this film?
I mean, Sinners to me it was just I felt it in my bones.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a vampire.
Well, it was bone chilling.
Yeah, it was bone chilling, but also just like I rarely see so this is something about me a lot of people don't know. I love anything vampire.
Ooh, okay.
Obsessed. It's hard to find Black vampire in that niche. And I really just loved all of the aspects of it. I know someone over at Ryan Coogler's company, and I reached out to her and I was like, you guys really need to do a spinoff with these Native American vampire hunters. I would watch that in a heartbeat. I really want them to listen to everybody when they say they want to see that. I love these cultural references infused in a traditional story. And I don't think people understand how deeply there's first of all, there's so many people of color who love fantasy and sci-fi and don't see themselves represented in these worlds. So to have that representation in this like South racist time, Interview with the Vampire series is one of my favorite shows.
I
on
love the
TV.
show. It's a great
It's
show.
incredibly
Yeah.
underrated. And the one thing I've always thought about is like, I want to see how like a vampire who's Black fights racism, and that show really gets on that a lot. So anyway, Sinners is, to me, I'm like, if you love Sinners, you will love Interview with the Vampire on AMC. Like, watch it. So anyway, Sinners is it for me.
All right. Well, that translate into the Best Actor category
It
too?
will.
Yes.
I thought first of all, Michael B. Jordan played two people.
Right. Which by the way, I love in Oscars history. When you have like a Peter Sellers or a Lee Marvin or something.
And they were distinctively different people.
Yes.
They were so different. So I also just thought he really tapped into something different. And I wasn't quite sure, because when I heard that they were doing this, I was skeptical. I was like, how is this going to work? I love him and Ryan Coogler together. I think they are such an iconic duo and creatively. And I think he deserves his flowers. I think Michael has been acting for a long time. He was on All My Children, baby. Like,
he sure was.
The Wire. Like, I feel like people don't give him enough credit for the different types of character he's played. He's not the actor that plays
like
the same
Fruitvale
thing.
Station is completely removed from
absolutely.
this, let alone the Black Panther quotient. Yes.
I think people like him, but I don't think he gets enough credit. I do think he has a little pretty privilege where people talk about his looks
I
first.
think, you know what people don't talk about? The Best Actor winners, rarely hot. So that's like a hump people have to get over.
Yes, I mean, look how long it took Denzel to win.
Right, for Best Actor.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's Michael's time. What's next?
All right, Best Actress. Oh, I'm interested in this.
I mean,
I think you're going for the cry with Hamnet, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I was going to say Emma Stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She really is good in that movie.
Yeah.
That movie sort of didn't speak to me, but I have friends who like vigorously defend it, and it's awkward between us.
Yeah. Yeah,
but she's always good. She's always good.
She's always good. She's reliable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, I don't particularly like her. I don't. She's not a likable person.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Too self-deprecating?
But I like that about her. I like that she doesn't try.
Yeah, okay.
There are some people who are...
you like that she's a lazy loser.
I feel like she's like, I know I'm not likable, I don't care. And I think it's a little cunty.
Okay, all right.
While I'm not a fan, I respect it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be me in any room.
Sure.
So go ahead, Emma. Be a little bitchy. It's okay.
And who do you think for supporting actress?
Oh, you know I got to go with Wumi.
She's great. She's one of those. It's one of those performances where I wish she had one more scene.
Yes, I agree, and I think
But I feel that way about Tiana, and I'd vote for her.
I just feel like with Wumi, her being on, I just felt like she was such a presence, and I also love that she was a plus size lead with this heartthrob. And most of the time when it's a plot line. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a plus woman falling in love, then like we have to bring up my size, or it has to be a part of the plot line. And he was just loving her down. And then they had a sex scene that was incredibly hot. And it was like, it just wasn't a topic of conversation. It was just like, I'm a presence and I'm going to get loved and I deserve love, but also I'm strong. And a lot of times you don't see that, especially with like Black women. It's like, if they're strong, then they can't be soft. And she was a mix of all those things. And I just think she is so incredible in everything that she does. She's because if you see her interviews, she was very different from her characters. You know, she's very bubbly. You know, but she plays these serious characters. She's dope, and she deserves all the things. Yes, so I'm with her. Delroy Lindo for Best Supporting Actor.
We've been on this tip for like 150 years. It's so time for his first nomination. He's kind of one of those older Black actors that has been okay with like Hollywood ignoring him, because this is always when I say there's two Americas, because I grew up watching Delroy Lindo, right? Like I grew up watching him in everything. And there are people who are just knowing who he is for the first time with Sinners. No, it's like Morris Chestnut or something.
Yeah.
It's like certain people have seen him 25,000 times.
Like, you know, even people who are just now learning who Tiana is. I'm like, oh, hello, Sweet 16.
Yeah. The canon.
She's been around for a long time. So Delroy, I think, you know, I've watched him in so much and he's so seasoned. And I just think he deserves, I'm glad I'm going to be able to see him just soak up the room, even if he doesn't win, but he deserved wins a long time ago.
Also, his inclusion in this category makes it a very interesting race because it's hard to vote against him.
Yeah.
And it's like, if there's a Sinners sweep, he has a real chance. And what do we have left down there?
Okay, we got Best Director.
Oh, you obviously have to go with Ryan.
You know I'm going. This is Black History Month. I don't know what you thought. I don't know what anybody thought was going to happen today. But you got the right one on Black History Month. Happy February.
Hey, the groundhog
Ryan
is
Coogler,
here.
I love him. I'm from the Bay Area, by the way. So,
sure.
please. I wouldn't do anything else.
Also, wait, Sinners is up for best casting,
Absolutely.
right? That is, I mean, it's a fabulously cast movie.
Oh my gosh, incredible! Miles Canton, like it was. Sinners to me is just the gift that keeps on giving.
How scary did you find Haley Steinfeld? Because I found her scary.
Oh, quite scary.
Yeah.
Quite scary for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also,
scary.
Irish dancing is frightening.
Oh my gosh! But you know what I love? A white vampire being offended by being called the KKK.
Yeah.
He was like, "Sir, when you got a demon who is offended to be part of your group,
Demons
you
being
are on the
offended,
wrong
that's
side."
Progress.
He said,
That's
"Now I'll
progress.
rip a neck out, but I'll be damned if I burn a cross."
Wow, you need to be like the dramaturg for these movies. Oh my God. Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, I'm happy to submit. And those are my picks.
Oh,
Are you
thank you.
excited?
Go right here.
It's going right in that box, baby.
Ooh, ooh, ah. Right in the crevice. We'll be right back with more Keep It, but for right now, imagine this. Lisa Rinna on stage in LA talking to Jon Lovett. Yes, that Lisa Rinna. And yes, this is real. Join Love It or Leave It at the Dynasty Typewriter this Thursday, Crooked's live gay political late night show with this week's lineup. Lisa Rinna, fresh off the Traitors, Rachel Bloom, whom we love, and Nikolai Coster-Waldau, whom we also love. Expect games, surprises, unhinged takes, and the kinds of conversations your group chat wishes it could host. Grab tickets now at crooked.com/events. All right, when we're back, I'm joined by the fabulous Paula Pell. Keep It is brought to you by Factor. You want to eat better, but you have zero time and zero energy to make it happen. Factor doesn't ask you to meal prep or follow recipes. It just removes the entire problem. 2 minutes, real food, done. I realized that Factor was for me the first time I did it. Once I realized that meals I wanted that would be beneficial to me in a healthy way could be available to me within seconds, there's no turning back. It's like the laziest way to do something really good for yourself. But here's also what Factor taught me. I wasn't failing at healthy eating. I was failing at having 3 extra hours every night. Factor is already made by chefs, designed by dietitians, and delivered to your door. You heat it for 2 minutes and you eat it. There are lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. And with 100 rotating meals every week, you can pick what fits your goals, from high protein to GLP-1 friendly to Mediterranean. My favorite Factor meal remains the honey mustard chicken. It's simple. It's 2 things I love, chicken, honey mustard, and yet I don't feel like I ate at a seriously grease-drippy restaurant after I've had it. It's lovely. Head to factormeals.com/keepit50off and use code KEEPIT50off to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. This podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services and get paid, all in one place. From consultations to events and experiences, showcase your offerings with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business. Get paid on time with professional, on-brand invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools. Every dream needs a domain. Squarespace Domains makes it easy to find the best name for your business at one fair, all-inclusive price. No hidden fees or add-ons required. Every Squarespace domain comes with advanced privacy and security tools included to ensure your domain remains online and protected. Plus, Squarespace provides everything you need to bring more of your dream to life, whether that means building a website or adding a professional email service. Don't wait to claim your name. Invest in your dream domain today. You can also fundraise directly on your website and grow your impact with built-in donation tools. Create a professional, on-brand website that makes it easy to accept one-time or recurring contributions and engage supporters with built-in email campaigns and marketing tools. You can connect with your community and inspire more people to support your cause. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/keepit to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/keepit. Our guest this week is a legendary writer and actor you know from shows like Girls 5 Eva, Long May It Slay, and AP Bio. Her work as a writer on Saturday Night Live has lifted performers like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and Maya Rudolph to superstardom. You can see her now in The Burbs, a new comedy series starring Keke Palmer and Jack Whitehall on Peacock, Sunday, January 8th, after the Super Bowl. Please welcome to Keep It, Paula Pell.
Thank you for having me.
Now, The Burbs is based
thrilled
off...
to be here.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you. And I was just saying to Paula, I have seen everything you've ever done. So
Are you my mother?
I'm sorry to say I might be. Yeah. You're such a thrilling person, and I'll
Thank
start
you
by
so
saying
much.
the arc of your life is so interesting. I can't think of another person who wrote for so long and now acts so regularly. Are you astounded by just the order of your life?
A true dream. I think, when I always say I was born at 50. I have pictures of me at 13 playing like a 6-year-old woman in something on stage with gray spray in my hair. And if you looked at it, you would 100% think that I was in my 50s or 60s. And I was 13. If I opened my mouth, you'd see the braces. But I was very much the kind of wise old owl matron when I was growing up. And because I was closeted gay, and I was just like the one that all the girls came to ask about their love life and everything. And so when I look at it now, it kind of makes, and I always played the character roles and everything. So and I wasn't old enough a lot of times. So they'd be like, we'd love to have you do this, but we're going to get somebody that age to do that. And so I finally aged into what I really should be playing. And that's been a thrill. And, I have to thank Tina and Amy for, as years went by and they left SNL and they created these fantastic hit shows, and they would say, do you want to come be Pete Hornberger's wife or Tammy Zero? And those are the things that, and I was never nervous doing theater all those years when I was young and in college. I was never nervous. And when I came back to acting, or even if I had one line at SNL, because I did a lot of monologues.
Yeah.
You'd think that if you're on a cue card, you think it would be nerve-wracking. And I would do like one person plays playing Emily Dickinson. I'd be on stage like talking for an hour. I was never nervous. And after those years of not doing it and taking that hat off as a writer, I was fucking terrified. Can I swear?
Please.
I was so fucking terrified. And because, especially at SNL, it's live. If you mess up your one line, it never leaves your body.
Yeah.
It's like a poison in your bones because you're like, well, I sure showed them my chops.
Yeah.
I couldn't get one line out that was written on a card that they're pointing at. And
I relate to that, by the way, though, because I think if you have one line, you have no choice but to overthink it again and again, and all the ways it could go wrong.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you have like lines and lines and lines of material, you have no choice but to just live in it.
Exactly. And in theater, there's so many lines and so many monologues. It's so much more talky than, action and TV and film stuff. So I was used to just diving into some monologue where you could really sit and get into it and feel like you were sort of in the character, not in a big method way, but like really inhabiting the situation, and it takes you out of it a little so you're not nervous. But when I started doing just short things, that was scary. And then as I started doing, we did very first thing really was Hudson Valley Ballers that James Anderson, fellow SNL writer and roommate in college, best friend of mine, and another best friend, Michelle Lawler, who's a cinematographer and a writer. She and James and I created Hudson Valley Ballers, which was complete fever dream of just crazy sketches that we did. And we did 2 seasons of that online. It was like a web series. And that was the first time I had really let loose again and, put on wigs and makeup and costumes and really did comedy again as an actor. And I got the fever bad.
Oh, good.
I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I love doing this.
And now you're on The Burbs, which is, of course, based on the Tom Hanks movie from the 80s.
Yes, loosely based.
Yes.
But yes, it's...
And you're with a wacky ensemble. I mean, like, Keke Palmer, to me, is one of the celebrities I am most grateful for because of the old school chops she brings. And also, she is so extemporaneous. I've never seen someone just, like, pop with one-liners the way she does.
She's unreal.
And
she's unreal. And she's one of those people that when you work with her every day, you're looking and you're like, I do not know where you put the energy that you have in you to do all the things you're doing at the same time. Because I am a big multitasker. I always got multiple things going on, and I've prided myself in doing that. But I'm 62, but she is truly like, she'll be getting makeup on at the Burbs and doing a podcast, doing an interview, working on a music video on the weekend after shooting a full week of an hour-long show. So, but also the kindest, most real, like she was just immediately, the first day I was like, oh, I'm going to love her. And everyone else, and it's a pretty small, amazing cast, Julia Duffy, Mark Proksch.
Julia Duffy's so good on Newhart. If Newhart, a show people do not talk about anymore.
Just so many funny people with like real chops. And then Jack Whitehall, who I just adore. There's just so many good people in it. But we bonded pretty quickly, and I had never done anything that wasn't kind of hard comedy, except for Dying for Sex.
I was going to bring up
even
that.
though Dying for Sex is comedy in it for sure, but my part was not as, it had comedy in it, but it was such a mix. But in The Burbs, it's so fun because I've never done anything involving like a murder mystery, and I watch a lot of procedurals. So I enjoyed that you would get the script and not know what's going to happen. And sometimes you'd be reading it going, oh my God, I did not realize that twist. So that was really fun. And also just being able to play my favorite kind of thing to watch. Like my favorite movie is Terms of Endearment. Like my favorite things are that have both, because I live that my whole life. I've been kind of a optimist and a depressive person at the same time ever since I was little. Like my journals were very dramatic of like, I haven't had depression in months. I sounded like an old Victorian lady all the time. I use the word shall a lot. I shall never forget this day. And but then I'd be so joyful about something, and then I'd be like so dark. And I love the two sides of life, and now we're certainly seeing the two sides of life. It's very clearly every day on the news and everything. And so I just feel like, you know, you really have to be holding on. I can't get up in the morning if it's only dark, but I also, if it's only bright, I'm suspicious of it, because it's like there's always that dark underpinning.
Well, I was going to bring up Dying for Sex because it's interesting. On that show, Michelle Williams' character is exploring her sexuality after she gets this terminal diagnosis. But then afterwards, it becomes this like kind of darker, more somber show where your character comes in and explains what she will go through in the days leading up to death, basically. And that is just, I don't know that I would immediately think Paula Pell would love to play a character like that. What was that experience like?
I was so grateful to be thought of. I think my rep Sam Korn like was talking to them, and they were talking about this project, and I think she brought up my name. And I knew the creators of the show some, so you know, it was kind of a perfect storm of them kind of knowing me and her mentioning me. But it was one of the absolute top experiences of my entire life so far as an actor. You know, I was in a room with, you know, Jenny Slate and Michelle Williams and Sissy freaking Spacek.
I know, who was just sort of lingering in the back sometimes.
And I just shot a couple days, I guess. And I came in the first day and had a 5-page monologue. And it was what happens to your body when you die. And I'm sitting in a hospital bed across from a hospital bed holding Michelle Williams' hand while tears come down her face, while Sissy Spacek's tears come down her face, where Jenny Slate's tears come. And I'm explaining gently to them what happens to your body when it dies. And I have done hospice with a friend in New York City years ago that was a neighbor. We moved in with her in the last couple weeks of her life and were her hospice support team, a couple friends of hers and myself. And I was there when she went, and I was the only one there for hours after she went, and I was just sitting with her in her house. And I've witnessed that with family members. I'm very fascinated by that process. So it was really feeding my soul to talk about it, to read. They wrote it so beautifully. They really studied palliative care, hospice nurses, and people on Instagram. There's one nurse on Instagram that's kind of a cheerful hospice nurse, and that kind of inspired the part of, you know, when I'd be like, you know, what I really think is cool about, and they're like, can you just fucking cool it, Amy? You know? So, but it just devastated me, but in that way that's also so life affirming, because it's an amazing, terrible process to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, before that role, we tend to associate you with these like broader comic performances, moments. But did you ever find that kind of bittersweet quality in like even those broader roles?
Oh, for sure. Like I always used to say at SNL, I wrote Joyful Losers because I am that. And when I was growing up, I was that of like, you know, my journal would be like, I changed the grid on my rock tumbler and the amethyst is really, you know, I just really had this verve for just life, but I also could get my heart broken so easily. But then in college, weirdly, I went to University of Tennessee the last couple of years of college, and they had a great theater program. I was getting all these character roles in dramas. So I was the nun in Agnes of God. I was in
Jane Fonda movie.
I was the lawyer it was all of the 80s, all the big Broadway dramas of the 80s that
Yeah.
were on Broadway.
Beth Henley and all those people.
Extremities, which is about rape, and I mean, I did so many heavy dramas then, and I freaking loved it. I love doing it, but I also love that this part in Dying for Sex and some other things, that even The Burbs, there's times where you can choke up and you can have this sadness in your character, and then you can go really hard with the comedy. That's my joy, because that's what life is,
Now, speaking of SNL, you started there in 1995, correct?
95, yeah.
Yes. Now, that is the beginning of a very important era to gay men who are exactly my age, because I think a litmus test question I like to ask people, namely other gay guys my age, but also you, is whether you identify most as a Molly Shannon, Anna Gasteyer, or Sherry O'Terry. Because I truly think it's like they come together as a trident, but they are three different goddesses.
Very different. That's such a good question to ask people. I will not answer it because they're all my good friends.
They all seem so rad too.
Yeah. I wrote a lot with all three of them. But I did the cheerleaders with Sherry, and I did Bobby and Marty with Anna, and those are when I did, and just my favorite things of all are to write those and play those kind of characters that they were so good at. One of our things that would make us laugh the hardest when we did the 50th, we did a Bobby and Marty for that
which
concert.
was fabulous.
Thank
Anna
you.
did not miss a beat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We rehearsed that thing up until like 3 seconds before they walked on stage. We were up on the 4th floor of Radio City, just like with a keyboard, like the guy from the Roots, like just completely going over it and over it and over and over it. They nailed it. But I absolutely, we would laugh so hard at the parts we'd write where it's obvious that the unseen audience in the sketch is giving them the finger, when they just be like, the middle finger really isn't just that Bobby and Marty, like it would make us laugh so hard of how we launched who was doing what, or throwing something at them, but it was always unseen,
Yeah.
And there's something about that. And also the cheerleaders,
Yes.
the cheerleaders
They are kind of a
hated.
piece, those two characters.
They are. It's and when I was growing up, I tried out every year for cheerleading. I was very strong, but I was the heaviest girl in school. I was very strong. I got to where I could do a back handspring. I could do things of that era. Like you look at cheerleading now in any era of school or dance classes, there are big girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes me cry, because I'm like, God, I wish I could have had the experience of athletics, because I loved being athletic. Nobody wanted me. I wanted to be a cheerleader. Nobody wanted me. So I would hold the purses. I'd hold everyone's purse and keep like cough drops and everything in the stands. And I knew all the cheers. I was like a dance mom, but I was 10 and 13. And the one thing that I was able to do, obviously, was like choir, music, theater, because all the, they took anyone.
Yeah. I know we have to bring up terms of endearment, since you've already just said that.
Yes.
Now, a movie I love, a Best Actress winning performance I love, Shirley MacLaine in that movie. What is your favorite part of that movie? Because truly, like, that movie has lots of prongs. Like, Jack Nicholson is his own storyline. You've got John Lithgow,
Heartbreaking. A couple come to mind, and when I worked with Judd Apatow on a couple movies, and he knows James L. Brooks so well, and they had talked so many times. He had questioned him because he's such a curious person about comedies and movies and history of them, and he would ask him all these things, so he would pass on, because he knew that was my favorite movie. Is one of my favorite parts. These are little tiny moments of Shirley. Two of them. One of them is when Jack Nicholson is starting to pull away and be an asshole to her. And he just is like, I don't think we should. And they're like in a gazebo or somewhere. I just don't think. And he's talking, and she goes, blah, 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 blah. And she just has this loose jaw of like, blah, like I've heard it before, like, fuck you, like that. And then at the end, when they're all having that post-funeral thing in the yard, when she's sitting and her little granddaughter is over on the other side, and she just pats her lap. Come here. And the kid just keeps scooting over until she's over by her. And then the other one is when, and he told me this was improvised too, because I think that whole end was improvised, but when those kids in that movie were so good and so natural and so unbelievable. But you didn't get that terrible feeling of like, oh God, what they put these kids through to get this performance.
Yeah.
They just knew how to tap into it. They were so good at getting them to be in that moment. But that older kid who was always so angry in it and everything, he would get that like strip. I always call it like when young boys, when they're uncomfortable and they get that little strip of red on their face, that little blush. And Jack Nicholson is like, hey, you want to come over and see my, I've been up in space, and he's like going to show him things. And he's like, well, I don't know if it would be appropriate. And he's in that little suit, and he goes, come on. And he's like, okay. And it's just so life affirming but also just so funny at the same time. I just remember growing up knowing like every line from it. And, it was of the era in terms of the big sad death scene and everything, but everything about it to me is just perfection.
Speaking of Oscar-winning performances, you yourself have written for the Oscars before and other award shows, and which strikes me as something I would definitely want you to be in the room for if I were working at an award show, because you're so joke-oriented like that. Do you have favorite jokes that have gotten onto these telecasts?
I got to be honest. I love doing it. I love writing them. It's really hard. It's hard, especially for monologues. I don't usually write. I usually, and now these days, like with if Amy or Tina, when they would do the Golden Globes, I would always send in jokes. I was in like a circle of their friends that would send in some jokes. But it's very difficult to write them. And because they always have so many great joke writers doing it, I a lot of times I just wouldn't get anything on, but it would like make the cut the first time, and then they wouldn't do it because they had just so many good jokes. They would just, so I'm not bitter about it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they seem very joke oriented too. Like Tina knows what the joke she wants is.
Yes,
yeah.
and also just sometimes the simplest joke. I was just watching a clip. I love watching when clips come up from Golden Globes of Tina and Amy's era, and also I think Nikki's doing a great job. But like Tina and Amy the other day, one came up, and I had forgotten about that Catherine Bigelow joke about.
I trust the woman about torture who was with James Cameron for 2 years or whatever.
With James Cameron for 2 years. And just the look of everyone, like that's the kind of joke at the Golden Globes you want, where everyone gasps, but also they just laugh so hard. You don't see like a lot of judgment. You don't see a lot of people going like, because sometimes on those shows you see the audience and you go, okay, those are the guys that'll go on Instagram and say how appalled they were. Those are the guys that you can just see people's faces. When they would do that show, it would just be like just tables full of drunks just going, oh, everyone was a queen. Everyone was a gay man. Everyone turned into a gay man. It just was pure delight, because you can get to that edge. And there really is an edge you go over where people go, oh, I don't know if you need to hit him for that. But man, that joke and the George Clooney joke of like, he's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award and his wife, and they name all the things his wife has done.
Yeah.
Like,
also, there's
humanitarian.
Something about Tina and Amy too, where they seem like such adults too. So it's like you couldn't get mad at them for like quote unquote immaturity or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I can't remember really raising a cane at them for like doing the wrong thing ever. They like that you just believe that they had an authority about them, almost like a newsman quality.
They're just such pros. And when you're at SNL and you're trying to please Lauren, you're trying to please the audience, you see in real time not pleasing the audience. You get things cut in real time. You have something you've worked on all week and you look up and the index card has moved over, and the show's about to start and you have to call your family and go, you can go to bed. It's not going to be on. The musical number that I rehearsed all week is not going to be on. So I still have, just talking of SNL, every week I still have something in where and my wife, Janine Brito, is like an incredible writer and performer and used to do a lot of stand up, but she and I'll lay in bed and I'll be like, I just thought of something for SNL. And I do go back and guest write sometimes, but I just really need to start keeping a Bible of that, because then on the weeks I go, I wouldn't have that terror still on Tuesday nights. I still have where I'm just like, I got nothing. Because you never have nothing. Like I got nothing.
That's funny that you say that, because I remember watching an interview also with you where you talked about how it took years before, when you were on SNL, before you got to the point not to be whatever devastated by like a table reading that went poorly
At the
or
table
whatever.
read, I got so used to failing, because if you do enough and you go, I've got enough. Like I've done enough recurring stuff. I've done enough stuff that's done well. Nobody's going to immediately look and go, why is she here? And in the first couple of years, that's what you feel every time you fail. Because sometimes if you do that too many times, they do have meetings where they're like,
and also people do get fired on that show.
And they'll kindly say, because I've been in those meetings where they're like, I don't know if this person is going to work out.
Right.
You know, they're not like eviscerating them. They're not being horrible. They really aren't. They're a kind group of people, but man, you sit there and picture them, you know, up on the, but I've had a lot of therapy, and I had a therapist one time I was furious at that said, you're not that important. And I went home and just fumed about it. And then it has been like my mantra the rest of my life. And especially at SNL, where you're like, I have told younger people there when they were having a meltdown about, you know, thinking they're going to get fired. They did something terrible. Like they didn't get you know, the sketch died, whatever. Something they wrote with somebody did terribly at the table. And I would say to them, I promise you, the minute that table read was over, the minute that sketch was over, they're thinking of something else. Nobody is in a room with your headshot up on the wall and like a pointer.
Yeah.
They're just not, because you're not that important in the scheme of things right now. They're doing a live show. They're working on the rest of what's there. And they've moved on. And so that's good news.
Yeah.
They've moved on and they're not thinking of you. You're insignificant right now. And that helps me now in life, period. Because I used to be so codependent and so worried about, do you think that I said that rudely? Did I piss them off? Did I make them? Is somebody like being quiet with me because and now I'm just like, if they are mad at me, they will come and talk to me about it and we'll talk it out. Like, you know.
I have to ask, you also are now writing with Janine Brito, your wife.
Yes.
And you've obviously had years of practice collaborating with all sorts of people, but what's this particular collaboration like?
You know, after SNL, I have to say I kind of didn't do much collaboration for a long time. I just liked for once to really be by myself and like really do it how I wanted to do it and kind of keep track of it. And then because I was a codependent person, sometimes if I was with another person, I was afraid to say, oh, I don't like that as much. I like this better. You know, I hated all the emotional like stuff you have to walk over and everything. And now I'm so much different because I have no filters now and I'm just much more of a direct, honest person. I'm not as codependent at all anymore. But Janine is such a great writer and joke writer, and she's really good at story. So we will sit and she'll just come up with she'll come up with the answer. Like we'll pass it back and forth to each other. We've written a few things together now, and even when one of us is doing something where we need jokes for it, or we need, we just bounce off each other. I never wanted to be with a comedy person. My first wife was not in comedy. She was a funny person, but she was not in comedy at all. She wasn't in the biz at all. And I when I met Janine, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with, but she's just not on all the time. She's not a person that needs it every second to be like having you think she's funny, and I'm not like that either. I promise I'm not. I know I have no pants on right now, Louis, and you still haven't laughed at it. You're just worried for me.
Yes, is she okay?
You called my nurse, but she just is. She and I think a lot alike, but sometimes enough different to where we collaborate really, really well. And she's a joyful, she's just a freaking golden pot at the end of the freaking rainbow.
My last question for you is, how necessary is it for you to watch comedy nowadays? Like, as somebody who writes so much of it, do you feel like you need to have a diet of it yourself? Or
it's probably necessary, but I've been very bad at it, I got to be honest, because I do love dramas and I love, and I have kind of, some people would call it like not as kind of showbiz savvy. Like I oftentimes don't watch the things that everyone's watching of like, oh my God, have you watched this? Some of it is just being too busy and I hate starting something that I know that I'm going to have to wait I'm not going to be able to watch the last 5 of these for the next, so then I'll stay up all night and watch something. But I watch all my soaps on CBS that I've watched my whole life.
I love when people still watch soaps.
It's
so about a kind of character quality.
Watch my soaps. I watch a lot of HGTV.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love HGTV. I love House Hunters and all those. Love it or list it. I watch a lot of procedurals on network TV. There's something about network TV that's so comforting to me. Like I love like Chicago Night on NBC and watching all the Chicago Med and all those. And I loved The Pit. That was one of the ones that I like really sat and binged the whole thing. And I'm starting, I just started. I did just start watching Traitors, which I've never watched. And I was giving Janine so much shit because she loves it and watched it, and I don't get it. Like we started watching it. I'm talking about the rules.
Yeah.
I get they're all hilarious, funny characters, and I like reality. But I'll just sit there and I'll be like, the first episode, there were so many rules, and I'm like, I cannot contain this in my body and sort it out. I was not good at like geometry. I was good at like algebra. I cannot keep these steps of this, and if not that, then this, and then you get the golden apple, but not the thing. And if you bite the thing, the golden firework blows up in your butt. And I'm like, I do not know what the fuck is going on. And then I watched like 2 of them, and then I was like, okay, I'm in. Because I like how they're lying. I like how the traitors lie. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
Like I really laugh at how they're lying and when you see Lisa Rinna lying.
Oh, yeah. We were just unpacking how
Ugh.
Traitors is both extremely entertaining and yet also kind of a bad game. Like, it's like the Traitors have no real responsibilities. So, like, what am I solving?
Right.
Right. But I'm just guessing that you look like a liar.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And there's a lot of like people in different rooms talking and fake eating. I love when they fake eat on those shows where there's just like like the healthy guys are eating like a bunch of vegetables, but it looks like cold and it looks like TV food.
Yeah, right.
Like they've been there for 6 hours. They're not eating that shit.
But if you're watching The Pit and the Traitors, you're up to date. You've
those
caught
are the
up.
things that are the things in the but some things also. Lastly, long answer, but I am we have so many animals, and I'm so sensitive about animals and things and stories where it just comedy or drama, there has to be some horrible thing that it happens to an animal. And so I go on that website, Does the Dog Die? There's a website and it's got all the things that could happen to like it. And I look on there before I watch a show, and I won't name the show, but there was a show that I really wanted to see on streamers that I was like, I really want to watch that. It was a drama kind of horror, and I wanted to watch it. And then I just see this post about this person going, I can't sleep. I'm traumatized by what happened to the baby something. I'm like, nope. I'll watch murder. Yeah. I'll watch people, but give me a little baby animal being left behind. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
This is a Betty White stance to take.
I'm trying to emulate Betty White's path.
Thank you. Yeah. Please, Bob Barker, etc. Yes.
Bless.
Paula Pell, thank you so much for being
you
here.
So
oh my
much.
God.
So fun.
Also, you're so funny and also so educational. Like I'm like remembering things like that you've said that are so fabulous.
So much.
Thank you.
It's great to meet you.
Keep It is brought to you by Nutrafol. Good hair days do more than we give them credit for. When your hair feels healthy, you show up differently. You feel more confident, more relaxed, and you're not constantly checking the mirror. Nutrafol supports hair health from within and delivers results over time so your hair becomes something you enjoy, not something you stress about. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested to measure improvements in hair growth, quality, and strength. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages like postpartum or menopause, and lifestyle factors such as a plant-based diet, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20% and get added perks like a free Headspace membership to support your hair health journey. Let your hair become one less thing taking up space in your head and see thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code KEEPIT. That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code KEEPIT. Keep It is brought to you by Helix. My Helix mattress is basically the closest I have to live-in family. I hug it every single night. I tell it little secrets midnight. I, on occasion drool on it, pure accident. And otherwise, it's the most comforting part of the life I live. I can depend on it. I use it and love it and belong on it. And when you see my posture on this bed, you think, oh my God, he looks like Betty Grable. And let's not forget how convenient it is to shop with Helix. You can take the Helix sleep quiz, and then guess what? There's free shipping and a 120-night sleep trial. I'm in night 6,000 of sleeping on this damn thing, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. The streak is hot. Go to helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Keep It. That's helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Keep It. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/keepit. Last Friday, we received the devastating news that Catherine O'Hara had died at the age of 71. We could go on for hours about her legacy and what made her such a brilliant performer. But Nina, what was the first movie or show of hers that came to mind when you heard the news?
I think, for a lot of people, Home Alone is what they think of. But for me, Best in Show.
Oh, gosh.
I can't tell you how near and dear Best in Show is to my heart. I randomly was in the house with my sister, and we were flipping channels, and I was like, let's watch this movie. And we had no idea what it was. And when I tell you, we laughed for 2 hours, and now it's literally like a thing in my family to watch Best in Show.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just think she was a comedic genius, and she's like one of those actors that never took themselves too seriously and just really brought it, but there was no ego. But also Beetlejuice was huge for me too as a kid. Like,
oh, sure.
Huge Beetlejuice watcher. So probably Beetlejuice as a kid, as an adult, Best in Show. Those were the two like iconic films for me.
Well, it's interesting you bring up those two movies, Best in Show and Beetlejuice, because I think they also highlight something about Catherine O'Hara that hasn't been said much, which is the brilliant physical comedy.
Yeah.
In Beetlejuice, the big Banana Boat Deo song, her movement in that scene is so
good.
Funny.
Yes.
And it's like, she obviously comes from improv. She has her history with SCTV and that whole company of people we associate her with, Eugene Levy, whom she worked with for more than 50 years, etc. And in Best in Show, she has that famous limp after like her leg, and they're like, "Oh, there's something wrong with your leg," and she looks like she's falling apart.
She is so incredible. She will be missed. I'm so sad to hear about it. And she was just always. I was watching old interviews of her, and she was just kind of like acting was what she did, but she was one of those people who had a regular life too.
Yes.
Outside of it, like she allowed herself to not be soaked up in her celebrity, and I really loved that about her.
Yeah, she had sort of a shrug about her, like, "Oh yes." Yeah, she's like real workmanlike when it came to putting a sketch together, creating a character. But then otherwise, she's like, "Oh, was that funny? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it did work." She took herself seriously.
Yes.
She took the work seriously, but she didn't take
She
herself
left it there.
clinically.
Yes, I think there was like a paparazzi interview, one of her last, where they were like, "You're one of my favorites." She was like, "Please."
Yes.
Like she was like, "Please, honey."
And by the way, I really think she was having taste in that moment, being like some people would have just said "fuck off," but she was just like, "Stop it."
Yeah.
Yes. Like there was like a bit of grace there.
Yes, but I'm like, I don't know if she knew that she was everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
But she really was.
And also, by the way, so obviously she had this renaissance with Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And I think we take for granted the fact that did not have to happen.
Right.
Like basically, she was famous in all these Christopher Guest movies. She does have this history in SCTV. It was not a guarantee that this woman would come back and be, frankly, a superstar.
Right.
Like, I honestly don't think most people knew her name from Home Alone or knew her name from Best in Show.
Right.
So for her to come and like command in this zany role.
Yeah.
I always say something I like about Schitt's Creek is it feels like everybody on the show was sort of workshopping crazy characters and they all picked their favorite.
Yes, exactly.
And then they decided to make a show around those characters.
And such a good collaboration of talent and humor and just like pseudo seriousness, and it just worked.
No, I have to give credit to Dan Levy for like being the architect of this incredible moment for her. And also, I have to say, look, if she was going to leave us now, the 1-2 punch of her performance as Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek and then also her work on The Studio,
I mean,
tells you so much of what you need to know about this woman. Because Moira Rose, so she can do zany, come up with a delivery you would never think of that's inimitable, that is so funny. Like if you try to repeat it to somebody else, you're actually failing the joke and the delivery.
1,000%. Only she could do it.
Yes.
I was so pleasantly surprised because I knew The Studio was coming. I wasn't sure who was in it. I just really was thinking about Seth. And then I see her and I'm like, oh, you know, there's certain actors who it's not a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt, but you're like, if they're in it, it's going to be good.
Yes. There's a quality about her where it's like, I would say she's sort of the Julie Andrews of comedy. And
Yeah.
that we all agree there's a brilliance there.
Mhm.
But aside from that, when you see her on screen, you feel taken care of.
Yes,
You know, there's like a
agreed.
comfort, like the talent is comforting.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely am like, there are certain people where I'm like, oh, anything they're in, I'm watching. I don't care what it's about.
Yeah.
And she is definitely that.
And I want to say also about this studio, not only was she extremely funny on that as this sort of veteran of the
So
business who
good.
had seen everything, it also gave you a chance to see just how good of a straight actress she is.
Yes.
She is so convincing.
Mhm.
You know, she's not winking. She's not, it's not all like, well, here comes a crazy eccentric
Right.
person. Like that character did have eccentricities, but it was really just a believable industry veteran.
But she could play like goofy characters, but she wasn't goofy.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes when people think goofy, they think physical. They think it's like, you know, she was able to like really give like quirks to things, but like the delivery was very unique.
Yes, right.
And I really love that about her.
Something else I love is, so early in her career on SCTV, and I want to say on that show, she was nominated for 4 Emmys in 1 year for writing various episodes of that. Like, imagine just you wake up one day and you go from 0 Emmy nominations to 4.
Right.
That happened
Right.
to her. She
Yeah.
had 10 by the end of her life. But like lots of people in sketch comedy at the time, she cut her teeth playing a lot of famous people.
Mhm.
And I've been enjoying watching these old clips of her doing a very insane Katharine Hepburn impression. She's one of the first people who ever did a Meryl Streep impression. And then she became friends with Meryl after working with her on the movie Heartburn. And Meryl gave one of the great tributes to Catherine O'Hara over the weekend too, talking about the audience she graced as friends. Love the wording on that because there is a quality about her. It's like, we did have her once on this podcast, actually.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, I do feel like I know Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, I'm sad.
It's parasocial.
Yeah.
Like, I really do feel like she was pleasantly authentic at all times, and that meant, you know, she could disappear for a while,
Yeah.
but then come back and be happy to be working,
Yes.
and then go away. It's just like you sort of understood the mechanism of her, even just casually, you know?
People dying who ain't died before.
Yeah, right.
It's a tragedy. I can't take it.
Oh, my God. No, and I want to say it is very hard to pick a favorite role of hers. I rewatched A Mighty Wind over the weekend,
Oh.
which is another mockumentary in the Christopher Guest world. And you forget that not only was she a darling singer, she had like
Yeah.
a lovely voice, which of course, when you come from improv, usually you do have to sing sometimes. But the sweetness of that performance, and she sings A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow, which is a song written by Michael McKean and his wife Annette O'Toole, Oscar nominated. The performance of that, which then went to the Oscars, where she and Eugene Levy sing this folky song and then have this sweet kiss. I can't think of another Oscars moment like it. It was a musical
Yeah.
performance that also had comedy in it.
Sure.
And so it's like you got to see her do her improv thing, but on the stage at the Oscars while also delivering a song.
yeah.
All the quadrants of her talent in one place.
One
I
of
really
one.
recommend watching that again.
Yeah. One of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, where would mockumentaries be without Catherine
oh my
O'Hara?
Gosh.
You know?
It just I don't know. She's just this is a sad thing for Hollywood. And
I
you know, there
know.
are people who there's not some people you can see and you're like, oh, they kind of remind me of so and so. There's no one I
No.
Yeah, I feel like she's one of one.
And I think a big part of that is her Canadianness. Like there's like a
Yes.
real sense of like, I'm happy to be one of 11 people in this ensemble doing my one little scene, or I can run the whole show if you need me to.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very like empowering when I think everybody always wants to be the main character, and I think what you find with her is like she would kind of get in where she fits in and just command that moment if it was like an hour on the screen or 10 minutes.
Yes.
And she's going to be memorable.
There are certain people who, just by sheer virtue of them participating in the entertainment industry, makes you like the entertainment industry more.
Yes.
Like, because she was kind of better than
Yeah.
all the rigmarole that
Yeah.
like we put people through.
Agreed.
I saw her quote going around that was actually cut from the interview it was supposed to be in, but the journalist posted it, about how she was asked how being in entertainment has changed over the past 50 years. And she said that doing press, you have to do all these things for like social media, and like young people will ask her to repeat like an iconic line of hers on camera, and she'll say, "Why do you want me to do this?" And their response is, "Oh, don't be nervous. You can say it however you want." She goes, "No, it's not about being nervous. I have taste." Yeah. I love that there's sort of like a
Yes.
steely backbone
Yes.
on the other
Yes.
side of this like very welcoming, gracious presence. And
I
wanna
call it quiet riot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when someone's
She
like,
knew herself. She
Yes,
knew herself.
It's a
Yeah.
very like stoic, it's not rude, but it's like when you're that confidence, like she was grounded.
Yes.
Yes.
One year at the SAG Awards, I went with a friend of mine, who I'll say lovely man, one of my best friends, got a little drunk. Got a little drunk. After the SAG Awards let out, and it's just a table after table of famous actor, my friend, like a golden retriever, runs up to Catherine O'Hara and her lovely husband, Beau. And she just goes, Catherine, we love you, whatever, goes on.
Sure.
Normally, in that instance, I'm already mortified. He's a guest of me. I want to be clear, I write for the SAG Awards
you're
now.
plus one.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you can't act up as the plus one.
No.
The invitee can get a little sloppy.
Yes.
The plus one, you tighten up.
No.
Tighten your ass up.
And let's just say a job was on the line for me. I write for the SAG Awards. Okay? And we get there. What does Catherine O'Hara do? She goes, thank you so much. She introduces us to her whole family.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Too nice.
Oh, my God.
Painfully too nice.
You're like, you do not have to do all this.
You could have dug your ring into my eye. We could have been punched to the floor.
There are some people, and I don't use this word a lot, but there are some people who are just lovely.
Yes, right.
You don't say that about everyone, right?
No.
But it fits
It's like
her.
a dead quality.
Yes.
We don't do lovely anymore.
I don't call anyone lovely.
Aside from Olivia Dean.
Yes. Olivia Dean is lovely.
Yes.
There's certain people who just fit it.
Lovely is like a genre.
It really is.
You
And
know?
it's very rare that
Yeah.
you're a lovely. I'm not a lovely.
No, please.
No.
Honey, I'm German. I'm glowering now, and I'm having a good time. Yeah. It doesn't need to be said, but it just
She
is
will be
beyond
missed.
belief.
Yes.
It's beyond belief.
It is
We will
definitely
miss
a
her.
void. She will be missed.
And luckily, we have years and years of her comedy to look
Yeah.
back at. And by the way, so much is underrated. If you see her in Orange County, where she plays Colin Hanks' mom, there is a hilarious scene in that movie where she starts thrashing that she wants to go back to bed and throws all the pillows on the bed on the floor. Go ahead and watch that. But again, as we said, it's sort of like when Maggie Smith died. If all you knew her from was like her most popular stuff, like Harry Potter, still A+ work.
But listen, there's some things you can get in the weeds for. And I think that for me, I was like, there's a couple of things I haven't seen that I'm going to go, but I will for sure be revisiting Best in Show tonight.
Yes. And also she has a very underrated performance in After Hours. That's mid-'80s Martin Scorsese movie. A bunch of kooky women bother this guy who's up all night in New York. Go ahead and watch that too. But otherwise, watch everything she did.
Please.
And listen to every interview.
Yeah.
Watched her on David Letterman and Johnny Carson. She did a banger impression of Elizabeth Taylor. God, do I miss when half of entertainment was about what do you think of Elizabeth Taylor?
Yes.
Take me there.
Yes.
Anyway. Also this weekend, read about this in the New York Times, we lost Shirley Raines.
Yes.
And please tell us what you think of this incredible person.
I found out about Shirley on Twitter years ago. I think I saw like a clip or something, but Shirley was a huge advocate for the unhoused community in Los Angeles. She also started working eventually in Vegas as well, but literally just feet on the ground, just out there serving the community, feeding people. And it started to get, she was really personable. She would color her hair and have all these piercings, and she was like a presence. And I would donate, because she would have these Amazon lists of things they needed for the communities, toothbrushes, whatever, tents. And so I would always donate to her, like her Amazon list. And I would just do it, privately, but she would start to get more and more visibility because of what she was doing in the community. It started to be really loud, which was great. And just really bringing awareness and bringing like humanity, because I think a lot of times it's hard for a lot of people. They don't see the unhoused community as like human beings. And she would talk to them, argue with them, like she wasn't a pushover, but she would videotape all of that, and you would get to see these interactions, but you would also see how happy people were to just be fed, but also just to be looked in the eye.
Yeah.
So she was incredible. Gone incredibly too soon.
It's insane.
I really was shocked to see, because I think she had just posted a couple days before. Her movement will still continue. But if you don't know who Shirley Raines is, please look it up, because what she did in Los Angeles, we talk about entertainment in this city, but people always talk about the homelessness crisis in Los Angeles. And this is someone who was single-handedly trying to do something to feed the community, and it will be sorely missed.
And I think you're right that people always talk about the homelessness crisis, but they rarely are talking about any specific homeless person.
They're just complaining.
And they forget, like, you can talk to these people.
Sure.
There's like a world there in each of these people, and she made you realize, oh my God, people, right?
And they're people. I have a really soft spot for this subject, and I have a grandmother who had mental illness who was homeless for a number of years, and we couldn't find her, and I think like there's this perception that homelessness is someone's fault, and I think there are so many people, especially now, who realize how close they are to that, and people don't have these lifelines like a lot of folks do. So I think her making this a human issue can change the lens that a lot of people, it's very easy because LA is so glamorous and rich. And so I think it's really easy for people to disassociate that part of the city. And I'm like, don't let the sunshine fool you. It's people out here struggling. And I think she, I'm a very much like, do something about it, and she did something, and she inspired me, so I had my clothing line, and I remember like donating like items for women so they could go to interviews and things like that, and that was inspired by her. I was like, what else could I be doing, so I think when you have someone who thinks about like what small things can you do to help that would be great changes to someone else, that's a start.
Deeply inspirational.
Yeah,
fabulous.
absolutely.
So we're sufficiently sad now. I hope you're happy.
Yes, we've depressed everyone.
We'll be back with the sauciest part of the episode. It's Keep It. And we're back with the downright meanest part of the episode. Uncouth, if you will. It's Keep It. Nina, help us out. What is upsetting you this week?
I want people to stop falling for AI videos.
Oh, please.
Are you okay? Do you think the polar bear is tap dancing in your front yard in Atlanta? Like the AI videos, I get that they're getting more realistic.
Yeah.
But if you really look, you're like, okay, this is not logical.
No, Oprah has 7 fingers there.
Yes. 7 fingers and 3 boobs.
Yeah.
And you think, and I hate, this is what I hate the most when they post, is this real? No, Carol, it's not real.
I hate when people post anything like a tweet or something, or rather they don't repost a tweet.
Yeah.
They say, somebody somewhere said, can you find the original source?
Right.
We're on the internet where it is.
You're stealing, by the way. You're stealing.
Right.
Yes, you just don't want to repost the person. Just repost them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AI videos, I know they're getting, but they're starting to pander. I saw an AI video. So my algorithm is very strange.
Yeah.
It's very pro-Black, natural hair, nails, cooking.
Okay.
So I'm trying.
I'm there.
That's what my algorithm looks like. You want to know what it looks like? I follow nail pages like men follow bad bitches. Like that's what's in my algorithm. So there's a cooking video. I'm like, oh, great. This is like this new recipe. And I'm like, this looks delicious. Click it. It's an AI cooking video.
Why are we doing that?
I'm like, oh, AI food now? But for the food?
No.
And there were people in the comments like, oh, I'm going to make this. I'm like, are you?
No.
Because it's not going to look anything like this. But the fact that people I get that what do they say? You get a 2-second like time span on something before someone goes to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I want people just to open it up and look at it. And please stop falling for the okie doke. It's annoying.
Yeah. It just feels inevitable that like 90% of our feeds are going to be that.
I know.
soon.
And I mean, I can't tell you the conversations I've had with Tony and Phyllis.
Yeah.
My parents who are in their 70s.
Phyllis, one of the great names.
Phyllis is one of the great names.
Yeah.
She is not on social media. My father is on Facebook. And I have to tell you, if they send me one more thing, that's AI.
No.
My dad's like, look what's happening in the world. I'm like, Dad, this is AI.
No. So it's basically claymation, Dad. No.
It's really claymation. And they are serious. They were packing their bags. They thought, it's just always something. So but I find that age does not matter in this instance.
No,
there are a lot of young people falling for AI.
The AI posts that most upset me right now, and I mostly see them on my still existent Facebook, is when you see a still of a celebrity at the deathbed of another celebrity.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like Dolly Parton addressed this in a video where she's like, no, Reba was not at my deathbed. Right. We're not that good of friends.
Or they do the AI where they show you the old version and the version now and then like their younger version.
Well, I'm a huge Madonna fan. And the amount of like Madonnas I've seen, like, here's Madonna walking from a set in the Lucky Star video into Material Girl, into whatever.
Yes.
It's like, can we not?
Yes. And they're on the apps now, by the way, the dating apps.
Oh.
Men are using AI. I don't don't know if women are doing because I'm not on that side.
Yeah.
But the men are using the AI to like recreate their images as if you can't tell.
Yeah, right.
As if you can't tell. Like I didn't see your 12 thumbs.
Also, by the way, a number of my own friends I've noticed have like, I'll call it photoshopped in a way that it feels like AI gets into the mix, and it's like,
past
guys,
the filter now.
Yeah, right. Can we vote for humanity? Can we be on the team human?
Can I say something? It's okay to be a little ugly.
Please. I crave
think it's okay
it.
to be a little ugly these days. We don't have to put a filter in AI everything so everything is so perfect. I'm actually looking for imperfections now.
Right.
It's sexy.
Like the Celine Dion song, I have my own imperfections, and I'm putting them on social media because authenticity means something.
I love it. Everything is so glossed over and glazy. Now, look, listen, I use a little filter from time to time. Now, let's not get
Glazy
crazy.
is exactly the word. Like,
But yeah,
everything
it's
looks
just
like Wicked
perfect.
for good.
Everything's so perfect. I'm really excited about like seeing imperfections online these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's celebrate that. Maybe it needs its own account.
App? Yes, yes, let's
Imperfections.
create it.
Yeah, it'll be huge.
Yes.
Everybody
Post
wants
your
it.
scars.
Yeah. My keep it this week. We lost a talk show this week. The Kelly Clarkson show is ending. Now, let me say this. She did it for 7 years. I imagine that's extremely taxing, especially when you're performing on the show as much as she is with the Kellyokies that are constantly amazing.
She's also not a traditional host. Like
No.
so it's not like she grew up wanting to be a TV host.
No, this is like her like fifth biggest dream or something.
Right.
But what I want to say keep it to is we need to have talk shows because it keeps celebrities good at being celebrities. When they come on a show with a prepared anecdote or a song or like a duet idea or something, it is such good pure entertainment.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're running out of opportunities where celebrities can entertain us outside of having to literally be in a movie or literally doing a music video. And I think Kelly was really good at getting fun anecdotes out of her guests, out of like, and also getting onto tangents, which is an important part of talk shows.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more talk shows we lose, the less obligation we have to expect anything fun from celebrities outside of like their own atrocious social media.
I feel like talk shows are dying, not dead. But I do think there'll be a resurgence, just like everything. It'll be like very retro.
Yeah.
And they'll start to come back. Oprah does her podcast right now and she uses an audience.
Yeah.
And I really love that. I miss like the talk shows with the audience where they're talking to people in the audience in the daytime. It's a lost art to it. And Kelly, I'm really hard on hosts, especially people who are not like traditional hosts, people who are like singers or actors who become hosts. I'm very critical because it's such a skill that I think people take for granted. And she actually did a great job.
Yeah.
And she did a great interview and she was enjoyable to watch.
And this just in, Sherry Shepherd's show is ending. Talk about another person who can do whatever she wants, generally speaking.
Oh man, I'm shocked to hear that. First of all, I'm sad of the state of these shows being canceled. And I know we're in this like growing pains with social media and streaming. So I think it'll be figured out. But in the meantime, we're losing these legends on TV. I've been on Sherry a number of times. We are not friends, but friendly. Like we follow each other. I had a New York Fashion Week show. She came and supported.
Oh, right.
So she's always been really supportive. She's like an amazing human being.
Can host anything. I've seen her on game shows too. Be great. Talk shows, anything. Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe she'll start a podcast and continue it, just how like Don Lemon did. Like I hope that she continues to do this. But I think like, remember back in the day where people would get like $10 million for a People cover for their baby?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that faded out with social media. Like that's not a thing anymore.
Right,
but for a long time, for decades, you could get millions of dollars for a cover. And I think we're kind of going through that phase with talk shows where the huge budgets, they're just not, these brands don't necessarily need to give to these TV shows the way that they used to because they get more traction with like an influencer. So there's got to be this is no fault to Sherry, but TV networks and these execs are still moving like it's 1999. They have not adjusted to like the new way of TV and consumption, and they don't listen to what people want to see. Right. So these execs are making decisions about TV that aren't really tapped into what people want to see. And then they're surprised when people don't watch. Yeah. And they're not even marketing it the best way on social media. The Jennifer Hudson shows did a great job of doing like the tunnel. Even if you don't watch the show, you know who's in the tunnel every week.
Right.
You know, so it's sad that I feel like her show getting canceled is kind of like a tragedy of the times, not a failure of her talent.
Yeah. Counterpoint. Take me back to 1999.
Oh my God, please.
Ludacris, Sugar Ray, I'm ready.
Oh my God. Like I saw a post the other day said, you wake up tomorrow, it's 1996, what are you going to do? And I actually wept.
Oh my God. Sing When You Believe with Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston? I think that's 97. Yeah.
There's a quote that says, you never know the good times until they're gone. Like, you never know you're in the good times until they're gone. And I'm like, we were really in the 90s was really peak.
It was a jagged little pillish time.
Listen, it was a peak time. You know, I am now one of the old timers, but it was peak for pop culture for sure.
I'm ready for my heart to be unbroken. Yes.
So R.I.P. to Kelly Clarkson show and the Sherry Shepherd show.
No, someone shepherd us back to a fucking TV universe I want to be in.
Do you think there's a world where this means there's a resurgence of Wendy coming?
Oh my God. I mean, is that even possible?
I would want it. I'd be here for it.
I think AI can help. Might not be the resurgence you wanted.
This is where I'd be an advocate for the AI.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
I knew you had a price. Nina Parker, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can we find you on social media?
My name is the same on all my socials. The Nina Parker. So the Nina Parker.
And you are the Nina Parker, so it works out.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Paula Pell for being here. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode of Keep It and the Super Bowl halftime show.